fucking terrible for pretty much the rest of the known universe. The last thing anyone wants to do is give Uncle Sam free rein to regulate our internet traffic. So what did we do? We banded together. Wikipedia had a blackout, which actually kind of sucked because I was trying to learn all of the Jesse Ventura trivia I could possibly learn that day. Google, Mozilla, Reddit, Twitter, Craigslist, Tumblr, and a host of other internet big boys wielded that most potent weapon of mass destruction, information, to great effect. Emails were dispatched en masse. Feet were stomped. Mouse pads were thrown. And in the end, we created a chorus so loud that Washington, D.C. shit its collective drawers. Former Congressman / current lobbyist Christopher Dodd got his man panties in a twist and started tossing veiled threats at everyone in Congress in attempts to keep his dying bill alive. Nevertheless, the message stuck and the keyboard warriors prevailed. It's been almost 3 years since the protests, and SOPA, along with its sister bill, PIPA, I guess that's how it's pronounced, is still collecting dust in the annals of history. Hashtag winning what? It's unfortunate, but when we're not fighting for our right to binge watch YouTube, we mostly turn a blind eye to politics. Our relative stability allows us to do this without worrying that we'll be given 40 lashes for dancing in public if we elect the wrong representative. But in other parts of the world, politics play a more insidious life or death type of role in people's lives. As a result, they tend to pay closer attention to what's going on. In aforementioned other corners of the universe, back in late 2010, a potent cocktail of political tension, despotic violence, and social media set the Arab world ablaze. People were tired of the abuse. They wanted, no, they needed to strike back, and now they have the tools to do it. Social media and cell phones are more fearsome than drone strikes will ever be. Starting then and continuing right up until today, revolution swept across northern Africa and the Middle East, taking with it the regimes of Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, and Yemen. Now, I won't be able to give you guys an exhaustive account of what went down during the Arab Spring, but suffice it to say it was one of the pivotal moments in our lifetimes and a true realization of internet activism. Twitter-fueled intercontinental revolution. Google it, bitches. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but what can we do to take matters into our own hands? Can we do anything? Yes, we can. There are, in fact, 286 different ways to get involved. Okay, maybe I just made that number up. No, let's start with awareness. I think we can all agree that creating change mostly revolves around awareness and bringing that awareness to others. I like to think that people, by and large, do care about the world and do care about other people. But it's all too easy to get lost in the corporate media maze and ignore the inconvenient truths that surround us. Okay, fine. I guess that means it's your job as world changer in training to present these inconvenient truths to others, and do so in a way that they can no longer turn a blind eye to. The simplest approach? Share, reblog, retweet, repin, whatever. Expose your loved ones and acquaintances to the world at large, and you'll be surprised how they respond. Find something you care about and bring them into the fold. That is not to say that this strategy is without its drawbacks, because let's be honest, most people's reaction when they see Facebook postings about hot-button issues look something like this. Step 1, sigh. Step 2, facepalm. Step 3, scroll down to more Bieber pics and French bulldog puppies. Sometimes your posts will lead to unfriendings, newsfeed blocks, and or irate private messages, but other times your posts will inspire and enlighten. Yep, sometimes they will make people actually care. It's all kind of a balancing act though, right? Because on one hand, you can overshare and risk pissing off everybody you know. On the other hand, you can simply not share anything and go about your business knowing you could have done more. Don't be that guy or gal. If you're a little more motivated, there are even more options at your disposal. Podcasts, video journalism, and blogging are all totally viable ways to connect with the world. The best part? You won't need much money. In fact, Smashing your little brother's piggy bank will probably provide you with all the seed capital you'll ever need. Beyond that, a little ingenuity and elbow grease can carry your message a long way. Let's Talk Freedom was born out of a desire to share our message with anyone who cares to hear it. We're trying to do so in a way that's palatable instead of oppressive and dark. Take a heavy-duty message and lace it with a touch of gallows humor. I guarantee you it goes down better than it would have otherwise. If that resonates with you, go out and start your own podcast. Make fun of my stupid speech impediment or something. Let's start a mini blog war and change the world from behind our oversized computer monitors. Let's verbally spar using brains powered by non-GMO hummus, locally grown produce, and other tasty hippie shit like that. All right, let me get serious for a second here. I fully understand that some people have their boots planted on the ground. They're out there in the so-called real world hustling to make a change. And I respect the hell out of them for it. They are the linchpins of change. That's why I'm trying to do my part in some small way to supplement what they do. Maybe not by knocking on doors or holding signs or tossing pies at CEOs, but by simply carrying a message made of ones and zeros to a world filled with hungry eyes. We live in a global village. Let's not forget to love our fellow villagers, wherever they might be. Deuces.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fantastic article by our new contributing writer and friend, Stefan Cruz. If you're listening, Stefan, thanks so much for donating that article. Really a great article that you can actually find online at our website, talkfreedom.webs.com. That's talkfreedom.webs.com. And you can find that in the Sense and Sensibility section that is Stefan's own personal blog, column, article, whatever you want to call it, space, where you can read that article and many more to come in the future. You can also find other articles posted there by our other contributing writer, Dr. Richard Pamonte. He has a new one up there, which we will be touching on the second segment. This is another two-part episode. We'll be doing another part two, coming to you about 7:05, 7:10, something like that. So make sure you stick around and follow us for that episode as well. Really quickly, I wanted to, before we touch back on this article, I wanted to thank all of our new listeners and followers who followed us over the week. We broadcast last Sunday like we do every Sunday.
A little earlier this time.
Right. And at our new time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when I checked our stats that evening for how many followers we had, it was at 32, which it had been for a few days. Then all of a sudden it exploded. Long story short, last time I checked it, it was at 162. So quite a jump there. So thank you so much to whoever's spreading the word. Don't know what happened there.
What's our web address?
For what?
For the show.
For the show is www.spreaker.com/Let's Talk Freedom.
And then if our listeners want to email us,
they can send an email to the letter R. CANCEL. That's rcancel rcancel, the number 41 at gmail.com.
Are you 41 years old?
I am not.
All right. I'm confused.
The computer chose that number for me and I went with it. But so you guys can reach us there. Let us know what it is that you like about this show. We really love to know why the explosion, not that we're complaining.
No, not at all. Definitely feedback, whether positive or negative, I'm open to. That's one of the highlights of this show is we're willing to deal with things as it comes. We don't rehearse the shows. Like, this isn't like the Rush Limbaugh show where we have somebody telling us what we're going to talk about and speak about. Right. We take things that are coming at us as is, and we're willing to deal with them because that's the reality of life, and that's kind of what inspires us, to do this show, right, is what's happening in life now, because that's what builds the future, etc., blah, 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 boring stuff. But we are very, we really would like to know what you guys think and what drew you to the show, and you guys are our inspiration. The fact that someone listens and hears what we're saying, we all feed off each other's energy. So please send us an email and let us know what you think. And, if you just feel free to vent or tell us what you think. And sometimes that inspires us to pick a topic for the show.
Not only that, but you can also, just like we have so far with picking up all the new followers and listeners, which again, thank you so much to all of you for joining us. Welcome to all of our new listeners, and thank you to whoever's spreading the word to help this show grow as exponentially as it is and has been so far. But you can also not only reach us through the email, but also when you follow us on our Spreaker profile here on Spreaker, there is a little chat icon, so you can actually instant message us live when we're broadcasting live on air. We'd love to hear from you, any feedback that you have, why you're following the show, what you think of us, what you think of the show, whether or not you think we're a bunch of idiots, or whether you agree with everything that we have to say. Whatever it is, I promise you, if you instant message us whatever you have to say, we will read it live on air, whether it's that you agree with us or not.
Except for that girl sending the bikini pictures. No, we were not going to read that
anymore. But you can also...
Not true story.
You can also find us at on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Talk Freedom Now. Oh, Freedom Talk Now. That's facebook.com/Freedom Talk Now. You can follow us on Twitter at Talk Free Podcast. So let's get back to this article. Again, really great article by Stephen Cruz. The name of the article is Revolutions Per Megabit, which you can find online at our website, talkfreedom.webs.com. And it's really beautifully written article that touches on a lot of excellent points, I think, that really solidify what LTF is about, what it is that we do here, why it is that we do it, why it is that we believe in doing it the way that we are doing it. One great subject that he touched on, which I've always thought about myself, and just kind of cleared the thought for me personally, because like he said, a lot of people, especially people who are activists, who are out there in the streets, would possibly look at activists such as ourselves, who do our activism via modern technology, podcasts, internet websites, things of that nature, as not real activists. And when I was first starting this out, I honestly felt that way myself. Like, am I doing enough? Is this enough to really make some kind of difference? Am I hiding behind my computer, or is it something that is really effective?
The answer is yes, because I'm famous and you drew me. And I'm humble.
Right, yeah. Clearly.
No, it's so refreshing. It was very refreshing. We met via a friend and who listens to the show, and a big shout out to you, Jared. Right. I was so impressed that I'm not alone in my thought patterns. And I don't pay attention to the hype on Fox News. I don't pay attention to the hype on anything, really. I'll listen to people here and there. I've said it personally in past episodes. I'll listen to a variety of shows just to have the angles and just to exercise my mind against the angles that people present. We're all just human. We're all impassioned to have silly views from here and there, or to not exercise our minds and try to figure out if what we're hearing on TV is true. But then when you come across somebody who comes to the same conclusion as you, when you're not basing your conclusion off anything you heard on the news or read out of a book or a magazine,
right,
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
And one of my inspirations, and I'll say this as much as possible, is you guys out there that think like this. I love knowing I'm not alone. I love knowing that I'm not blinded, that I'm this, lost soul all by myself on an island. You guys, your feedback, your follows, anything you give us, we feed off of that. I love knowing that there's someone else who cares what's going to happen, to their children's future.
Right.
Not their immediate future, but to their children and their children's future.
Right. And the fact that... again, and just kind of retouching on the article itself here and everything that Stefan was expressing therein, again, it sometimes, I'm a human being like everybody else, and sometimes when you're doing something, no matter what it is, you kind of have a little bit of self-doubt. You wonder if it's the right thing, if it's a good thing, if it's a productive thing, if it means anything,
If
whatever
black
the case may be.
helicopters are going to fly over your house, drop down, and murder you?
Well, sure.
I wonder that sometimes.